guys, Walt here with TAV. Today we're going to do a little video on some of the aspects of the Dirtbox overland bed, flatbed that's on the goat right now, and something pretty special that we're going to be doing. Right now we are out here at the Couch Off-Road compound, and as you can see with all these pretty sick Unimogs and stuff, there's a lot of R&D that goes on with the Dirtbox products because a lot of that gets done here at the compound. So you'll see a lot of Unimog kind of influence on some of the fold down bedsides and some of the things like the utilitarian side of what is going on in these flatbeds. So as part one, what we're going to try to do is kind of go over what's on the Ranger Goat right now, some of the dimensions, the baseline dimensions, and what's actually included with a base flatbed if you were to purchase one of these, and then what some of the pricing looks like. So as of right now, is the time of this video, the short bed, so for a 5-foot Tacoma or a Gladiator, the flatbed is basically not this box, from this line down is a flatbed, is about 14.5, and what you're getting with that is all your boxes, a center drawer, a 24-gallon water tank underneath that comes with its own pump and switch panel and everything. There's a float gauge on the other side, and I'll show you that here in a second, but that is for the full flatbed. And it comes with the headache rack because your fuel filler is right here and your water fill is on the other side. It's plumbed right through into the tanks. So that's kind of what you're getting right there, baseline to get started. But with what we're doing here, these boxes are actually bolted onto the top of the bed itself. So these beds, like Jay said, is kind of a set of Legos. You can Lego-fy this entire thing. So it's extremely modular. You can pull this box off, and what we're going to be doing, we're working with Dirtbox on coming up with a really neat new camper design that's going to go right on top of this bed, and we're going to show you how that's all integrated. So as you can see here, we've got one of the Tellurika tents on top of this on a quick release mount. So if you wanted to use this bed as a truck bed, you can just undo this mount, pull these pins, and lift the whole tent off. They're just over 100 pounds, so they're not super heavy, and you can just lift that off and you have an entire flatbed. In this scenario, I've got our 37-inch spare tire full all the way up in the bed forward, and that's actually tied down, bolted down. So if we needed to change that, I can just spin that lock loose and then slide the tire out. Also, you can kind of see how this center drawer looks. It's got some straps, and the ladder for the tent comes all the way out here. Here's the front of the box right here. So if you had tool tray or whatever you wanted in this, you can set all this up. Now we just drove through a ton of dust, and there's not a single bit of dust in this right here. It's all nice and clean because there's a gasket all the way around, and it's a positive pressure style gasket. You can even see the imprint of the gasket on the inside of the cover here. There's a little guard that they put in here to protect your latches. So if you have gear, you can see my straps are right up against this, so there's nothing up against your latches, so you don't ever have to worry about that binding. All right, so this particular setup, this is an option for the boxes. It's another, one of the Dirtbox options. I've just got some tools in here. It goes pretty deep inward. This is actually kind of designed for a slide-in style camper. So if you had a slide-in camper that you could run in, and you could actually use these boxes as an anchor point. And the height of the boxes is taller than a stock bed rail height. So it goes up and fills that gap for most, slide-in style campers. Got a shoe bag here that goes onto the tent, but recovery gear, we've just left Overland Expo, so I've got some booth stuff in here, carry hitches and stuff like that. But there's a ton of room in these boxes. I've got a Pro Eagle jack on the other side, so they're awful handy. And all of the keys are alike. They're a good pressure, positive pressure, so as you turn it, it's a compression latch. When you push this down, you can see it pull the box inward, and it helps to seal that gasket all the way around. Kind of moving down just a little bit. This truck, my Tacoma here, is a 6-foot bed, a 4-door long bed, but the tray itself is 7 feet long, and that goes out off the back end. So it kind of gives you a little bit more, another foot of storage space back there. But you can see how high the departure angle is on this thing. It's really high and up and out of the way. So what that does on the 6-foot bed trucks, you get this larger forward box, which I locked. We can show the other side because it's got the power box in it. So, because it's got like the power switches and stuff in it. But so moving back to the rear box here, got more straps and stuff in here. This gets dirty because I'm always throwing dirty crap in here. straps and recovery gear, things like that. So it gets pretty dirty in there, but it's a nice, and this little shelf can come out, so you can actually take this out and put larger pieces in here as well. So some of the standard features too that they offer for these beds is these marker lights, which are a lot more handy than I thought they would be on the corners. And all of these components, the boxes, the fender, everything is all bolted into the underside of the extrusion. This is the main structure of the bed. This is all their extrusions, but you can put T-nuts and stuff in here, and you can mount things all over the side of the bed. So if you want to tie down rings or something like that, you can put tie down rings in here real quick. But then if you damaged a box or you damaged a fender or something like that, you can literally unbolt this and bolt a new one back onto it, or take it off, repair it, and bolt a new one back onto it. They designed it to be very fixable if you decided to hit something or damage it or whatever. You know, it's really nice to kind of put back together if you needed to. The tail light, this is one of their smoked lens tail lights, but this is a DOT approved tail light. So you've got your turn signal, running light, brake light, reverse light, and everything all right in this one little light. And it's nice and easy to see. It's plenty bright, but it's just a really nice subdued look to this. All right, on the passenger side of the truck, what we've done with the front box on this one is it comes with, if you buy one of these, it comes with this power box. We just opted to put this one in here. You can actually put this inside the camper if you ended up getting a camper. But I've got another battery under the bed, and that's where the Oasis compressor is mounted, and this is where our air chuck is for the compressor. Our water tank, water fill, or water spout is right here. You can quick connect your shower hose to it, and there's a battery kill switch right here. So you've got 12-volt power, a bank of switches, and then your water tank level gauge and some fuses for all of this stuff here. Right above that is your water fill for your 24-gallon tank. When we were installing this bed, we it comes in pieces so we can assemble it. We took the bed itself, the boxes weren't connected to it. All of these boxes were connected to it. We stood it up on end and put it on a scale and weighed it, and it was about 725 pounds, something like that, for the bed. So that includes all of the boxes, the headache rack, and the water tank, the stainless steel water tank that's in there. These boxes, before we bolted them down to this, were I think they were about 65 pounds a piece. So you can kind of see what you've got here, and you figure a factory bed is probably, I don't know, you could look it up, with the weight of the tailgate, weight of the factory bed, and the weight of the rear bumper, because we're not running a rear bumper on here, then that offset for what you're actually getting here isn't that bad. So it's and on all of our trucks, when we build these trucks anyway, we're building a custom spring rate anyway. So if we're putting one of these beds on someone's truck, we're usually going to do suspension work as well. So we're running our own custom spring rates and custom shock valving to handle the load of the truck, the new load of the truck, which makes the truck feel a lot lighter when you're driving it. So to answer some questions about the receiver hitch on our truck, so this is a custom hitch that we made, which brings your receiver way up high, and it's straight across from your factory frame rails. We do that because when you swap these beds out, your factory hitch drops way down here. So in an effort to create a lot more ground clearance, we can build a custom hitch that brings your receiver all the way up high, right up under the bed. But that is also, since this bed is longer, it's a 7-foot tray, the back of the bed is here rather than where it would normally be right over your receiver. So, but as you can see here, I've been hauling a trailer around. This is a standard just drop hitch, nothing special there. It comes out far enough to where your pivot point is still outside of the bed itself, and our backup camera is right here. So we can relocate these backup cameras, and we have it pointed straight down onto the, so as you're backing up, you can see the hitch ball, and you can just drive straight over it perfectly. We can also do other cameras that we've done them in the past, where we can move another camera out here to where you can see another vehicle, or up high if you have a camper looking down over everything. All right, so kind of as I mentioned before, there's so many different configurations that you can do with the Dirtbox Overland flatbeds. And if you can see the configuration we're running here, but there's also options to where if you didn't have a box like this, but you wanted a canopy or even a half canopy, they have the canopies that go on, they stop about here. And you can put batteries and everything else you want to in that. With that, there's another portion, a bar that looks like the headache rack that goes on the back of the truck, and you can do fold down bed sides. So they just lift right off. So there's if you check out the Dirtbox Overland videos, they'll show you some of those options with the fold down bedsides and things like that. With this one, we're going to be going to a custom camper. So we're going to be seeing how the integration, and we're going to show the integration of the camper to this bed, and there's different things you can do with that as well. So if you started out with a canopy or just a flatbed, you can add componentry to it over time, and as your trips change or as your needs change, you can start out with just a flatbed. You can add a canopy to it. With the fold down bed sides, you could remove that, and then you could add a full on canopy camper, or even run a tent like we're running. So many different possibilities with what's going on here. We have this particular setup with our air compressor and volume tank and battery under the bed, so that's all going to stay there, and we don't have to worry about removing any lights or any electrical when we pull the boxes off and we put the camper on. So you can see that any electrical is run, you can almost completely hide it away and make it to where it's serviceable for you, so we can run things into extrusions and kind of hide things away to where it looks really nice and clean. So if you've got any questions about the Dirtbox Overland components, and there's a lot of products through them, and we're in the design phase with them, so we've got direct input and feedback with what we're doing here, and these guys are so much fun to work with, because we can brainstorm all we want together, and we can come up with some pretty neat things. So if you got any other questions about that, call us at the shop at 505-219-3147, and check us out on the website tavllc.com, and check out Instagram as well for our most updated content that we can possibly put out. All goes on Instagram. So appreciate you watching, and stay tuned for the next one.